All right, so today we're going to get into something a little different. This is a deeply personal and honestly a cautionary tale from someone who took a trip into the darkest parts of the internet and, well, never really made it all the way back. This isn't just some story. It's what one person says happened to them, a single night that just completely destroyed a life.
He starts his whole story with this one line. It's actually the end of his story, but it's where we're going to begin. See, he now lives every single day in this state of total paranoia, always feeling like he's being followed, always feeling watched. The big question is, what on earth could have happened to him?
Look, he's not telling the story to be cool or edgy. This is a flat-out warning. He wants to make one thing crystal clear. One decision, one moment of careless curiosity led to the absolute ruin of his life.
So to really get how bad things got, you got to see what his life was like before. At 26, he was, kind of aimless, a bit of a procrastinator, jobless, spent most of his nights just messing around on the internet. But now, he's a prisoner inside his own head, constantly battling mental issues, crippled by paranoia, and pretty much trapped in a single room. It's a world of difference.
So where did this all kick off? Well, like a lot of these stories, it started with just a bit of curiosity. He was on some random forum, and people were talking about this one particular deep website. Some of the users were bragging, acting tough, but others sounded genuinely terrified. And that mix of fear and bravado, it was just too tempting. He had to see what it was all about. So he does it. He finds this site late one night, and this is the moment. This is where everything starts to go wrong. He enters what he thought was just a simple, anonymous chat room. You'd think a dark website would be all complex and weird, but this thing, it was stupidly simple. Just a plain black screen, and right in the middle, a single button that said connect. The whole idea was you click it, and it links you up video to video with a total stranger anywhere in the world. So he clicks connect, and he's probably bracing himself for something awful, right? But what pops up on his screen is just a girl. A beautiful woman, looked like she was in her 20s. He was smart enough to keep his own camera off, but he was instantly hooked. This was not what he was expecting at all.
He types a simple hello into the chat box, but she doesn't type back. Instead, her voice suddenly comes through his speakers. A direct order. Turn on your camera. And right there, that's the first big red flag. The first sign that this is not a normal chat.
Okay, so from this point on, things go from just a little weird to genuinely terrifying. This is the part of the story where our narrator realizes he is absolutely not in control of what's happening. He's trying to talk to her, but he can't help but notice she keeps glancing away from the screen, looking over her shoulder like she's distracted by something behind her in her room. It's weird. So finally, he just asks her straight up, "Hey, is someone else there with you?" And her answer is what just sends a chill down his spine. She lets out this weird, hollow laugh and says, "That's because you're talking to all of us." All of us? What does that even mean? It's just so creepy and confusing. And bam! The second she says that, his mouse just freezes. The cursor is stuck, solid, right in the middle of the screen. He can't click, he can't move it. He's completely locked out of his own computer. The moment he's locked out, her entire vibe just flips. She throws her head back and lets out this sound. He says it was like a piercing, high-pitched laugh, but it was also like a scream. It was just this totally unnatural, malicious sound. So now he's in full-on panic mode. He's trying to close the window, but the mouse is dead. He's slamming Alt F4, Control Alt Delete, anything he can think of. Nothing works. The only thing on his entire computer that's still responding is the chat box to her. He feels completely trapped, and in that moment of just pure desperation, feeling like he's got no other move, he gives in. He turns on his camera. And that click, turning on the camera, that was it. That was the moment he opened a door that he could never, ever close again. This is where the horror breaks through the screen and gets personal.
And what happens next is just boom, boom. It's so fast. First, a man in a black mask just appears, standing next to her, silent. Then the lights in her room flicker, and suddenly there's a second masked guy. But the third thing, this is the real nightmare. He glances at the little window showing his own webcam feed and sees a third masked man peeking over his shoulder.
I mean, can you even imagine? The monster isn't just on the screen anymore. It's in your room.
He whips his head around, looks behind him, and there's nothing there. But he saw it. He saw that black shadow on his own webcam.
So he turns back to his monitor, and now all three of the masked men are standing right behind the girl. And as they just stare at him through the screen, a single tear of blood starts rolling down her cheek. She looks right into his eyes, right into the camera, and says 2 words, "Save me."
And then she just screams. A horrible, blood-curdling scream. That's it for him. He doesn't even think. He just lunges for the wall, rips the power cord straight out, and the screen goes black. But for a few seconds, in the dead silence of his room, he swears he could still hear her screaming. He didn't stick around to find out. He just ran, out of the house and into the night.
So the screen goes black. The immediate threat is gone, right? Wrong. That was just the beginning of the horror. The real horror, the stuff that sticks with you, that was just getting started.
The fallout from this one night was just total. He didn't just log off. He threw the entire computer in the trash. He never went near the dark web or anything like it ever again. But it was too late. The damage was done. He developed this intense, crippling paranoia. He couldn't trust anybody. His mind just plays these worst-case scenarios on a loop 24/7. And now he lives his entire life inside one room. A prison he built for himself out of fear.
You know, he puts it in a way that's pretty chillingly perfect. He says the real danger isn't what you see. It's that you get trapped inside your own head. You drag yourself down into this mental swamp of fear, and you just can't get out.
And this is really his whole reason for telling the story. It's his final warning to, well, to us, to you. He's begging you, never go into these dark corners of the internet just to see what happens. Because he promises you, when you find out what happens, you won't be able to stand watching it. And that is a really chilling thought to leave you with.